Hello all. This video of mine is for the English-speaking audience. My name is Victoria Mariupolskaya. For those of you who know me, um, I'd like to speak to parents of the world. There are so many people who come to my profile in VK and leave comments, heartbreaking comments, true comments. I see that people open their hearts and speak the truth and speak out of their hearts, speak about what's important to them, what's hurting them, what's worrying them. And I see many similarities in how I feel and what I'm worried about. I'd like to speak to you about the most important things and speak to you as parent to parent. I'm not going to teach anyone how to parent their kids. Not in this video. I don't have an intention of teaching. I'm not an example. I'm not a role. I'm not a perfect mother. Um, I'm just a loving parent who cares for the future of my children. And I know that you care for the future of your children. So let's talk about uh, the dangers to the future of our children um, and what we have in common. I'm going to read a few comments left by other people. One comment um, is what Mel Gibson said. Well, it's not his personal comment on my profile, but it's his words. So he did say that. So let's read that. All over the world, children are being stolen and sold to elite pedophile circles. They're tortured, raped, and killed in satanic ritual ceremonies. The killers then drink the children's blood and eat their flesh. The blood of children who were severely traumatized before they died contains adrenochrome, a natural drug produced by the pineal gland in the brain. Adrenochrome is the most expensive drug in the world. The god these people serve is Satan. This is not a God of love and compassion. Mel Gibson. I know that he spoke the truth. This is not something that he made up, or something somebody made up. Information like that sees light again and again. And I've seen proofs of things like that, of crimes like that happening in the past. And there's no guarantee that they stopped. So I know that he's speaking of something that's going on. I have confirmation that he's speaking the truth. Uh, some of the crimes have been solved. So those criminal activities are going on for sure. I want to share another comment with you. Sergei Navodchenko left this comment. So I translated it into English, and I think it's a very smart and wise comment, and it also goes from the heart. That's what he wrote. Occult black masses are a long-standing secret ritual of initiation into the cohort of globalization operators. At some point, information about this leaked into the light. Not everyone believes in this, just as not everyone believes in a global priesthood. However, an operation was soon developed to cover up and discredit the rumors, in quotes. The most striking action of which was the publication of D. Brown of the novel The Lost Symbol. in which it is stated that the Black Mass is nothing more than a game and uniform ritual with sham props. It is not for nothing that Brown and his books were published, advertised, and filmed on such a large scale. If there was nothing to cover, there would be no one covering it. It is not at all surprising that it was Mel Gibson who made this statement, although such claims today are not understood by many and are not even accepted, like other everyday deformities of our time. And the explanation here is very simple. This is the attitude to the present and to the future through the attitude to children. And Gibson has 9 of them. Now, how deep is that thought? Let's think of the attitude to the present and to the future through the attitude to children. How wise is that? How wise is it to think this way? Let's all focus on that thought. Let's focus on our attitude to the present and to the future through the attitude to children. This is exactly what I want to talk about. Well, here's an example I cannot be proud of. I'm talking about my 21-year-old daughter. She's not living with me at the moment. She moved out when she was 18. She finished school and went to the university in another city. So she moved closer to her dad. A success story? Well, I can't say that at the moment. My 21-year-old daughter declared a war on me. It is the war I cannot afford to lose. I have no moral right to lose it. She is a loved child, a dear child, the kind of child that made me sacrifice a lot for her. Sleepless nights and diaper change is nothing compared to what I have overcome for her. I got out of my skin to give her childhood with permanent home, best education possible, the kind of education money can't buy, happy childhood memories. I swallowed my pride, my own pride, so that she enjoys the relationship with her father, who wasn't there for her, didn't even want to pay alimony. And after leaving me with little children for a career and moving to another city, still claims it is he who does everything for the children, and it is I who should pay alimony. His own parents reward his irresponsibility and believe I am evil and ungrateful. I was never loved as a child. I was betrayed and abused and abandoned by all my so called relatives. My parents simply didn't know who I was. My Jewish father thought I was Russian as my mother, and my mother thought I was Jewish as my father. They hated each other and approached me as a stranger. And because they didn't like me being the child of the other spouse, they punished me for not fulfilling their expectations. How sick is that? I've been mistreated by many. Didn't hear a word of support or love. Didn't get any affection from any relative. Well, other than my own kids, of course, until the age of 43. 43 years of my life, I had no idea what love is. No idea. Nobody told me I love you. Nobody told me I was precious, I was wonderful. Nobody hugged me with care. 43. How sick is that? I've felt true love at the age of 43 for the first time in my life. Oh, that feels wonderful. That just feels wonderful. It has nothing to do with affection. It has nothing to do with falling in love. It's just true acceptance of who you are. Oh, that feels wonderful. Well, of course, I married him and I'm very happy. We've been married for almost 3 years. I'm a very happy woman. Oh, he filled my life with joy. And knowing how cruel people could be. I love my 21-year-old daughter. I've decided that she would have a different childhood than I had. And while I spent my childhood in tears and the rest of my life burning out, getting educated and taking care of my children, my kids filled our home with laughter. Laughter. Well, of course, there were some tears, and well, kids could be sometimes disrespectful and misbehave, but most of the time they had smile on their faces and they were laughing and they had joyful moments, and I had joyful moments with them. We played games, we went to picnics, we watched movies together, we had parties. I threw parties for them. I mean, we joked. There was so much joy. And now this war is declared on me by my 21-year-old. Oh, that is heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. I sacrificed my career for my kids. I went to politics and decided to defeat Jewish mafia and reform the world banking for my kids. I was brave enough to claim that now I am responsible for the future banking. I've never heard anyone say the same thing. No one else in the world wants to be responsible for the future banking except me. And I know this mafia is dangerous. So this is really something. I'm risking my life doing what I'm doing for the children, for my kids. I don't want them to live in the one world, in the new world order. I don't want them to be enslaved. I don't want them to be harmed. I don't want them to be forced into getting shots that they don't need. I don't want them to be controlled. I want them to be healthy, free, happy, and creative, and taking care of our wonderful planet and of our nature, and enjoy peace in our world. That's what I want for them. So I'm doing everything that depends on me for this to happen. And my 21-year-old tests my patience, and questions my love. How cruel is that? What she does is evil, but I still love her. I condemn her for doing what she's doing right now, but I love her. I condemn her out of love. I cannot reward this behavior. It just makes me sad that while I gave love, I got condemnation in return. So here's two dangers to our children, two dangers to the future of our children. One is coming from crimes against children. This is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable that kids are being tortured and raped and used in satanic rituals. This is unacceptable. This is evil. This has to stop. This is very, very dangerous, and no child deserves being harmed. And here's another danger, the danger that comes from kids themselves. They have the ability to select memories and selfishly throw very important things out. Therefore, we as parents need to both protect them from harm's way and make sure they know what's important to focus on. I want to read two more comments to you. I think they're also important and they show parental love and disappointment. Simon Crew writes the following: Hey, I'm having same issues with my teenage kids. All efforts made, but want to throw up the past all the time and bring silly things to the table. Yet they don't want to take any responsibility for their own actions. I'm not a bad person, but neither am I a doormat. As you said, the exes fill their head with shit, and it shows in the words they use. For me, I will always be there, but I will not relentlessly contact them only to have a one-word replies anymore. I'm worth more than that. They have selective memories. Oh, I can feel for you, Simon. I understand how you feel. Parenting is hard. Kids do want to bring silly things to the table all the time. It's like they're trying to laugh at you in a way. I mean, teenage kids. It's like they think that you're not serious. It's like what you do and say is not important. It's like they want to live in a completely different reality, sort of a make-up reality, so sort of their own imagination. Well, imagination itself is very, very good when it's grounded, when it's biased in knowing the history of mankind, in in well, I wanted to say religious, but I'm not going to say that, in spirituality, in the values uh, that include respect for other people, respect for nature, and of course, good intentions, good intentions, and respect for science. Imagination is a wonderful thing, only if it's not separated from the past generation, from the past experience, and from God. If God is in it when you imagine things, if past experience of all world nations is in it, then you're fine. Go ahead, imagine, but remember that your imagination needs to be tested scientifically. To be true, to speak the truth, you need to make sure that other people agree with you. Otherwise, it's not scientific, it's just your own imagination, that's all. We all have the ability to imagine. And that's a wonderful ability. It should never be lost. That's how we create future, by imagining what's supposed to be, what we think we want from our future. But teenagers and young adults, they have no memory of the past other than their own experience when they were surrounded by parents. They have no um, knowledge of what was in the world before they came to life. So they have a need to learn about history and about science, to learn a great deal before they make their own conclusions and before they use their own imagination to create the future. And we as parents, we have a much uh, healthier approach, and we have a better experience. We have a better knowledge, especially the ones who read books, especially the ones who learn, analyze, who do their own research, who want to know the truth and speak the truth and find out more details from the history and make conclusions from the history. We are able to use our imagination to create a better tomorrow. Kids don't have that. They don't have this uh, biased information that we possess. And this is the battle that we cannot lose. We cannot let them decide what their future will be and should be. It's our job. It's our job. Another comment was left by Sophia Endless Summer. I don't know if that's a beautiful last name or just a nickname. Well, here it is. I read what I get. I was a single mom for my 4 kids for 20 years. My youngest is going to be 22, and I was a single mom before she was 1. I also had little to no support from anyone. I managed to survive just as you did. I am so burnt out now, literally burnt out. We are supposed to have 2 parents for children, um, not only for the kids, but for the parents. My kids should not have a completely burnt out mother. I really need support. I was not going to get it. I'm very angry at the government and all of the government programs that teach us, well, excuse me, try to teach people to become single parents. They're destroying our souls. Oh, this is a heartbreaking comment. Sophia cries for help and support and does not get it. This is wrong. Sophia is right. This is very wrong that parents do not get support when they try to do their best for their children. Oh, I feel for you, Sophia. I know how you feel. You desperately need support. Well, you get all the support I can give you. If I could be of any help, I feel for you. I feel for you. You're not alone. I know how it feels. I've been there. I'm not burnt out anymore, but I've been there. I've been there. So this is not the moment when you give. This is the moment when you try to seek support. So I'll try to support you as much as I can. You can count on me. If that helps you. If that helps you. I want to ask you a few questions. And I want to know what you think. Am I the only one who feels that the love we give is being wasted? We give it and it doesn't return back to us. And as if we are losing the most important battle in our lives that we don't have the moral right to lose. Am I the only one who feels this way? Something is destroying our souls. Well, for those people who come to my profile, we sort of know that it's Jewish mafia, it's the usurers, the money lenders, the owners of the transnational banking system and transnational corporations. We kind of know what's destroying our souls. But this is wrong. This is wrong, isn't it? We are losing this battle, and that's a very important battle. Am I the only one who feels this way? Tell me if you agree or disagree with me when I say that we, parents of the world, have a double duty. If crimes against kids continue, then we fail as parents. And if kids declare war on us and we lose, then we also fail. We are the role models for them. We are the ones creating their future by our words, actions, and refusal to take action. We may not be the ones who created the political, economic, and religious world crisis, but we are the ones responsible for resolving them all. We are responsible for our country's government actions or the lack of actions. We are responsible for the management of the world financial system. Am I right or am I wrong? Isn't it easier to say, oh, I'll let someone else manage the world financial system? Well, let psychopaths manage the world financial system. I'll just enjoy the little things. Isn't it easier to say it? Isn't it easier to act irresponsibly, knowing psychopaths control world banking, world finances? I'm asking those questions myself, and I'm asking you. Asking the right question is half of the solution. Do you agree or disagree with me when I say that we are responsible for every single word that comes out of our mouth? If parenting is the hardest job in the world, then why are we doing it alone? Why each of us is focused on our own kids when we are building the future for all of them? Why are we caring for them alone? Why aren't we joining forces and imagining the world that we want? The world that will be filled with truth and kindness and care. How many are those who commit crimes against humanity and crimes against children? There are few of them. There are 7 billion of us. Well, let's say half of the population is say children. Uh, Part of the population is elderly, who need to be taken care of, and people with whose health don't allow them to care for the world. We need to take that into account. Well, at least we can count a billion of normal grown-ups who are capable of taking responsibility. Can we find uh, 1 billion out of 7 billion people? I think so. I think so. So 1 billion of normal adults in the world, each feeling lonely, perhaps, in his own struggle, in his own or her own struggle. And we have a huge crisis for all of us, economic, religious, political. So, what are we doing? What are we doing? Isn't it time we really think of the future? Isn't it time we join forces, join the love that we give to our children? How do we want them to talk to each other in the future while they live in different countries, in different places of the world? How do we want them to cooperate to each other, or to talk to each other, to cooperate with one another? How do we imagine this future? How do we stop the crimes against children, crimes against humanity? How do we stop all the lies, all the manipulation? How do we manage future financial system? I would like to know what you think. I would like to know if you also ask questions like that. I would like to know what your imagination tells you and how you feel. I would like to know if you agree or disagree with me. Do we have a double duty? Do we as parents have a double duty for our children? And isn't it wrong for us to deal with our children alone? Isn't it wrong that our love is being wasted, if you agree that it's being wasted? So let me know what you think. Thanks for listening. And well, feel free to share this video with others. You're always welcome on my page to discuss the most important issues.